Everyone, to another exciting Thursday night. We are two men in a room. It's another fun-filled, topical show for us tonight. I am your host, or one of your hosts, the Angriest Man in Orlando, and my co-host.
Vernell, also from Orlando. So when is you gonna change from being the angriest man in Orlando? Like when is you gonna just stop letting stuff get to you?
Okay, I'll never let stuff not get to me. That's me. Uh oh, you know what I was thinking about You know what I was thinking about? It's been about 4 years since the whole COVID shutdown really started going. Because when it shut down in March, they said it was about 6 weeks of the shutdown. And then we were going to come out of it. And we didn't ever really come out of it for a while there. And one of the things that came up was Orange County, Florida, put out something saying that they were not going to allow people out between the hours of 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. And I got out and said, that's crazy. Is this virus a vampire or a werewolf or something like you can't be out at night for or something? I was like, what if you start your job at 5 a.m.? You can't get to your job because you are not going to be allowed out at 5 a.m. And a lot of people around me were just like, well, no, 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 no. You should listen to them. They know what they're talking about. They're the scientists. They're the people running everything. And and I just sat there and was like, no, this is just crazy. This is just absolute craziness. And it built up this inner anger, this flame. It
All because
ignited a
you couldn't go out.
flame.
All because you
It,
couldn't go out.
Not because I couldn't go out, but because it was so insane, some of the stuff they were saying, that it just didn't make any sense. And everybody, not everybody, there were a few people around me who were like, yeah, that does sound crazy. But there were others who were just telling me, no, 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 no. We need to do this. We need to get it done because we need to go back to normal. And it was like, but it doesn't make any sense. For 5 hours every night, you can't be out
I didn't
because you
have no
might
problem with
spread the
it.
disease.
I didn't have not a problem with it.
So it built this inner flame that has been lit there like the Olympic torch for 4 years now.
Well,
So the anger will never fully get out of
throw some
me
water. Throw some water on the
till we
torch and let it go.
extinguish that flame. And I realize that people are no longer saying stupid stuff anymore.
So you think that someone would want to go or call themselves dating the angriest man in Orlando?
I think some people would. I think it's like Dennis Rodman.
Oh, jeez.
Is he really weird? Yeah. But is he kind of cool to hang out with? Yeah. And women wanted to be with him. So, having the moniker is actually kind of fun. It's not going to be for everybody, but there are some people around that I think would be like, "Holy cow, yeah, let's hang out together. Let's go talk about stuff. I want to see how angry he gets." And you know, it'd be like fun for them.
Okay, speaking of hanging out, right?
Hmm.
So now Orlando came with a new, we're trying to come with a new rule.
Okay, so here's what happened according to a Facebook post I read. Th- Effective Friday, what was last Friday's date? It was about like the 12th or 13th or something, middle of May. They said Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all city owned parking garages will close at 11 p.m. I, uh, I don't know if this means like, I'm assuming closing the gates because they have gates to the garages, right?
Correct.
Okay, so the gates will be closing at 11 o'clock, and I'm assuming any attendants and security will leave the area at that time. So this post went off. I wish I had the girl's name of whose post I was reading, but I don't. This post went off. they were like, "This is BS. This is insane. How are we gonna go out on the weekends?" And someone actually put out a valid thing. They were like, "Well, what happens if we go to the Dr. Phillips Center to watch a play or a show and it started late and it runs past 11? Are we gonna be able to get our car out? Are we gonna have to take a lift and come back in the morning and get it?" So this is really it's been a few steps that Orlando's been taking to kind of deter nightlife in the downtown area. They extended, I believe back in March, they extended the moratorium on nightclubs and bars for 6 months. So that's going to run till the end of September. Their Sunrail train, I believe, only runs till about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. It does not run after that. And so you have a lot of steps that Orlando is taking to kind of curb people being out late downtown, which the article attributed to two things. One was the safety of downtown. We did have a couple incidents where there were fights with people at clubs and they started shooting into the streets. There's a video from Church Street about one of the incidents. I believe it was in July of 22, I believe, or so. So we've had some violence. Another thing was that people were complaining of the noise who live by the Lake Eola Park, which is kind of on the, I guess, east side of downtown. So everyone passed there. I believe that area is called Baldwin Park
Okay,
and
okay,
stuff like
stop right
that.
there. Stop right
All
there,
right.
because I'm
Okay.
finna be the you. I'm finna
Okay.
be
Go ahead.
you.
Yes.
Because didn't nobody, ain't nobody telling them to move down there. They know what the consequences are when you move downtown area.
Right.
You know the lifestyle, and you know the nightlife when it comes to downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So if you at 55 West, you already know what time it is.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those
You
I
know,
had
and
originally looked
plus,
into moving there and
okay,
had to think
even when
about
the
that.
city do close down their personal parking garage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I park at this bank. It's $10 to park at this bank. They give me a card that stick in my window. Everything fine. It's only $10. So they gon' they not gonna stop all the activities. It is just like it won't be as many people, but it's still going to happen because you
Right.
do have a lot of areas where you go to the kiosk, get your little, pay for your little ticket, put it in your window on your dashboard, and you fine. Just park or whatever. So it may not be as many people because the parking garage do hold a lot of cars. So they'll eliminate that. But there's other ways of parking. And I understand the concept of them wanting to make a better or a safe territory or whatever. But people still gonna do what they want to do.
I mean, this goes to the history of nightlife in the Orlando area. It kind of blossomed when Disney opened up Pleasure Island. I believe it was the early '90s or so. They opened that up. A lot of people went to the clubs there because there were a lot of different clubs. There was, Comedy Club, the BET Soundstage, the Adventurers Club. There was a rave club there. So there was a lot of nightlife options there. So a lot of people started going there. Around 2002, they started to slowly shut everything down there. So people started going up towards downtown where Church Street Station was, that had a lot of restaurants and bars. And so people started thinking, okay, we could build up the downtown area into a nightlife complex. So you had a lot of clubs opening up, and then eventually having Ace Cafe open up, which had a lot of shows there. You had the Amway, well, what was the Amway Arena
Why did they close
there.
Ace Cafe?
So the deal is, according to what I read, the building was owned by somebody, and Ace Cafe owners were leasing the building to hold their restaurant and bar there and stage and everything. And so the owner ended up selling it to a developer and basically just cut the lease. So Ace Cafe had to move out. They haven't done anything with the property. It's been about a year now, and the building is still there. Nothing's been moved around or anything. And I just read Ace Cafe is actually looking to open up now in Sanford, Florida, which is in Seminole County, just north of Orange County. It'll be a smaller building. I don't think it's great because if you've ever tried to get into downtown Sanford at any time of past 5 o'clock, it's damn near impossible. So I don't know how it's going to go for
And
that, but
I just think the atmosphere in Sanford and the atmosphere in Orlando is just too different. It's just too different.
it's just going to be a mess trying to ride I-4 to get
Right,
up there.
that, but when you get to Sanford, it don't give you
It's very
that
old towny
energy
kind of.
that
Yeah.
it don't give you that. I was
Yeah.
down with what, a month ago probably, and I rode downtown Sanford. It's just like, okay, it don't give you the energy that Orlando give you, and
Mm,
it's not as big as Orlando. So I understand where you come from. I just think it's a bad decision making when it comes to moving it to Sanford.
right.
I really do.
I guess they looked around and that was the best they could, but then that moved out. So when did City Walk open? Because Universal tried to pick up the people from Disney when they opened City Walk at the Universal Orlando Resort.
I don't hear people talk about
And
City Walk no more like they used to.
well, they
I
used to
know,
have the clubs open and then the clubs sort of turned into restaurants.
yeah, I don't know. I have partaken in City Walk. My thing with City Walk, you got to
Mm,
pay the part,
mm.
then you got a 5 mile walk to get to where you got to go. So just imagine when you leaving the club, you tipsy, drunk, whatever the case may be, then it's just too much. It's entirely too much to just deal with when it comes to City Walk. It's just not, it's not feasible. It's really
There's
not for those that love to drink and all that. It's not cute at all.
yeah, there's
And
been a lot of shows in the
yeah,
parking lot.
yeah, and then don't say I need to catch an Uber. You got to find out where the Uber zone is and the taxi zone is. It's just too much. It's just too much. That's
It
not a great idea.
it's good for the tourists, but for the locals, like it everybody knows that you're not really it's it's not built to be an entertainment type place now. It's built more to be just take your money, eat, have fun, and then go about your business with everything else. I think they actually closed what was it? Like a pop it was one of the pop music clubs that they shut down and then never really did anything with, and it became kinda just a area to do, like, little parties at and little concerts at and never really went anywhere. So the nightlife scene just kinda fell apart in Orlando, and then you had just little districts like I Drive. They picked up Mango's Cafe, so that became kind of a little hub over there, and there's a few other bars there. Um, the Mills District and the what they call the Milk District became little spots for like the college group and people living downtown,
Mhm.
and so um, it kind of like splintered out all over the place, and I don't know if this is the best thing for Orlando with
I mean,
businesses
I like
going
the
down.
downtown territory. I think it's cute. I think it's cute. It's
I
not
mean, I think
bad.
I think if you were to get just kind of maybe a more secure type setting, maybe they
I
need
just
to
think,
extend the road closures.
okay, this is my take on it.
Mhm,
You could take all measurements that you want to take to prevent a lot of things from happening. And I
mhm.
understand Orlando want to be as safe as possible.
They want to
But
be very family friendly.
at the end of the day, people gonna find a way or make a way to do whatever they want to do. It's just that simple. That's my take on it. They're gonna make a way. They're gonna find a way to do it anyway. So,
Mhm,
but of course they're supposed to take measurements to make it friendly, safer for the community and for those that are visiting. And I
mhm,
I, I totally get it. But at the end of the day, when someone wants to do something, they're going to do it.
Well, I mean, with the way the businesses are going and a lot of people are still trying to work from home, a lot of those business buildings downtown are not fully occupied. So I think keeping the bars and bringing nightclub in, it's going to keep the city stable. You see a lot of restaurants actually close around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock downtown because when people get out of work, they don't stay downtown. They they go out, they go to Winter Park, they go down to Windermere, Dr. Phillips, they go out to Avalon Park, wherever they live. They go home after. So you want to keep a revenue stream into the city to keep being able to do all the things that the city does.
I wish my job was
So
downtown. I love it.
Mm, the traffic's a little killer,
Yeah,
but
the traffic, but at the end of the day, you know, I guess because I know the back road, so the
right.
traffic wouldn't bother me none. But just to be able to go out for lunch and you have so many different restaurants to go to and to try out, I think that'd be real cool. So I don't know. I would love to work downtown because I
Okay.
actually wanted to change my career and actually work at the courthouse. Oh,
Oh,
because it's downtown. Yes,
that would be interesting.
yes, it would be.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, here's what I'll say. I- If you don't find a district to put all of this stuff into, you're going to have it explode all over the area. And when it does that, you're still going to have, like you say, if something's going to happen, it's going to happen. So you're
right,
going to have these things happening in multiple areas. And will your emergency systems be able to handle that?
right.
That's the thing that they have to look at. If it becomes overwhelming for that system, then you got to start looking at bringing it back into an area that you can have it. Um, maybe near the college area, maybe near I Drive. You might have to like start
I just
putting
think,
some
I just
space
think,
aside
I
and
just think
build
downtown area is
a
the
nightclub
perfect area.
complex.
I really do. I just think that's the perfect spot for Orlando. Downtown is just a perfect area. They just need to think about how to engage with the people, and maybe they need to think about bringing more police officers on the force or something. They're gonna go up on their tax dollars anyway, so make it work, make it work.
Oh,
So you can make the money downtown, and the businesses continue to strive to do better.
I mean, they are looking at building that huge entertainment complex across from the Kia arena now. It would be mixed use, so you'd have businesses on the bottom, people living in the high rises, and they're supposed to have a lot of entertainment type stuff there. Probably an NBA restaurant or NBA store or something like that because you're so close to that.
I do want to
So
move downtown, but I would love for my windows to be uh north proof or whatever.
North, what?
No, noise proof.
Oh, noise. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you need
because
some like noise dampening glass.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
That way, even though you could have the best of both worlds, you
Mhm.
downtown because that's what you love, the downtown living. And then when it comes to the nightlife, you could, it's there, but you don't hear everything.
Mhm.
So, that way you can have the best of both worlds. And if you feel like getting dressed, taking the elevator, walking downstairs, you just boom, you right there or whatever. But I just think it's for the young generation. And I know older people love staying downtown because, they making their six figures or whatever, and they want to be downtown fish or downtown trade or whatever they want to call themselves. So I
Mhm.
just feel like they entitled to that. But, just got to understand that this is what's going on. They're gonna continue to strive to build the downtown territory like Lake Eola. They done bought more buildings to make Lake Eola Park even bigger.
Right.
And I like Lake Eola, because they have a lot of festivities going on. And it's for, it's family oriented.
Right.
So I mean, and I give Orlando that, it's things to do. You just got to want to get out and do it, and have the individual that would love to go out with you to do it. That's my thing.
Right. And to do these morning events and during the day events, it takes a lot of tax based money to do that. And if you have a lot of properties running in the downtown area, you take that property taxes to make, doggone in the park or whatever, bark in the park or whatever it's called. That's free to go to. You can bring your dog down, you walk them around and
But
see
Lake
all the
Eola have
things.
a dog
But
a dog day where it's all about the dogs. They
right.
have the dog food trucks, the dog clothing trucks, the grooming trucks. It's just all about the dog. Now, I would not partake in it because there's just too much. I love the little poodles and the little chihuahuas and the little teacup Yorkie and all. I love all it. But when it comes to them big dogs, I ain't got time for all that. Mm-mm. No.
But if you don't have the businesses there, then you probably have to start charging for stuff like that. And that's why I think you want family friendly downtown, but at a certain time, the families leave, the families go back to the hotels or go back home, and you could still have a nightlife. You just want it to be done safely. And so that's what
Okay.
they're struggling with.
Okay. Speaking of hotel, right?
Okay.
When you go somewhere
Hmm.
and you depart from your hotel because you stayed there, what, 2, 3 nights or whatever, do
Hmm.
you leave a tip in the room for the individual that's cleaning your room?
Not normally, but I stay at like the cheapest hotels possible because I'm usually there a night or two and then it's on to the next place. I've never done like an extended stay anywhere. So it's like you're and I again, it's just me. So
Right,
I'm usually on business or something and there's not a mess. Maybe a bottle or something in the trash can,
right.
that in a Taco Bell bag or something. That's about it.
Okay,
I usually
me,
throw the covers back over on the bed. There's no weird messes in the bathroom or anything.
I strip down
So
my bed. I strip
it's
my bed down because, of
really?
course, that's what they're supposed to do. I do it
Oh.
for them. Have the towels that I used,
Mhm.
everything be just as clean as I when I first went there. Because if it's just me, I make sure, because I don't want to leave a mess for nobody. I'm
Mhm.
gonna take the trash downstairs, throw it out. I'm not gonna have no food up there, and I strip the pillows from the pillowcases, and then I have it all ready for them, so they won't have to do all that um, when they get there. But I understand it's not my job to do that because they signed up for that. Because I know that's something you would say. So,
Let me ask you this, though.
okay,
If you're only staying for, like, a night or 2, where do you stay? Do you stay the high-end stuff, or would you say, "I'll just there for a little bit, I'll take a
no, no,
low-end
no, no,
hotel?"
no, 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 no. It,
Okay.
it gotta be at a Hilton. It
Okay.
got to be Hyatt, Regency, and where else I would stay. It's one more I would stay, but I'm not staying on anywhere.
So you're
No,
not doing a let's see, Ramada Inn? No? You're not doing a Radisson?
I'm not doing Radisson.
Comfort
I
Inn, Quality Inn, Sleep
no,
Inn?
no,
See, these are
no,
Econo Lodge.
no.
Oh, I'll do Econo Lodge if I'm one night somewhere. Yeah, Econo Lodge.
I guess it all
It's
depends
fine.
on the area and how I feel if it's clean or not. So
Okay.
it all depends if it's a one nighter, but I know for sure if I'm staying 3 nights or more, it's
Mhm.
gonna be a high end. Um,
Yeah, then I would probably chip in for something a little better, but
yeah, especially if it's 3 of us, then we're gonna stay the highest of the high because it's 3 people to bust it down or whatever, and we're gonna get a great hotel. But when I went to Atlanta, me and my best friend, when we drove from New Orleans, we went to Atlanta. We went to visit my best friend niece, and then his niece had a friend that kind of had to hook up with hotels. So he said he was gonna hook us up at a hotel downtown Atlanta.
Mm.
Uh-uh. Child, you should have seen where he tried when we pulled up, and I don't talk about nobody. It is
Mm.
what it is. It was a lot of people that outside the hotel, like doing drugs, laying around. And I'm like, I know this person ain't tried to send us here out of all places.
It's the
So,
city, so
uh-uh. Mm-mm. So what we did, I say we can scratch this, me and him,
mm,
and we
mm,
went to stay by the Lenox Mall in Atlanta. At a it was at a Hilton as well. And it was
okay.
nice, valet park and all this good stuff. So because you want to feel safe when you go places and not have to worry
Yeah.
about certain things, happening to you or your car or your rental or whatever the case may be. Because I always get a rental when I go out of town. Um, but yeah, so now that we discussed tipping, we discussed
Okay,
previously
getting back
that
to that. Getting
right,
back to that, yeah.
right. Are you a tipper or you're not a tipper when you go places?
Alright, so my definition of tipping is an extra for extra services, okay? So there's no standard rule for if I'm here, I tip. If I'm here, I'm tip. Like at the hotel. If I'm at the hotel and like they did a little something extra, maybe they made an animal out of the towels or they left extra soap for me or, they knocked at about, evening hours and said, "Hey, do you need extra towels or anything? Do you need this? Do you need that?" That is extra service. That's going above and beyond. So I would leave a tip for that. If I'm just there and I never hear from anybody, I don't know what's going on, or the service is really bad, it's a horrible room, then no, I'm not going to leave a tip. Like your payment is the money for the services. Anything extra gets you the extra tip. And it's the same thing. Like if you're cutting my hair and you go on the extra side of asking me how my day is and how's the week going? Hey, you're doing a show. How's your show going? If you get involved, then yeah, it's an extra tip. But if I just sit there and you're just like, okay, you want the usual? Sure. Okay, you're all set. Have a nice day. Then I'm just gonna pay you for the haircut. You didn't do anything extra. So what's the point?
So you
You
tipping according to extra.
yes.
Okay, I
If
just think, okay, I could agree with you to a certain extent with that, right?
mhm.
Now, when it comes to waiter and waitress, I think it's different because I understand you want them to be friendly and you want them to make sure everything is going perfect. You have some people that I experienced that wasn't so great, and you have some that was excellent, and I'm always tip whether they great or not. Now I'm just gonna tip more if they just have excellent services. Like they talk, they laugh, they engage. They come and check. Hey, let me fill your water. Would you like anything else to drink and stuff like that?
Mm,
If you don't do all that, I'm just not gonna give you as much.
mhm.
Because I know they're there to make a living as well. And I understand you see differently than
Well,
I, but I'm going to always tip. It all depends on them on how much I'm a tip. Now I
here's
understand. Now the barbers. Now come on now. Even though I do tip, right?
mhm,
But I think that I know things have skyrocketed, and now a cut what ain't less than $20 $25 or whatever. So they
yeah,
have went up. Now I
your
usually
cuts
just
are
give my barber when I
$25.
was getting a haircut. So what would you give your barber if she's doing a great job?
See, my stylist it's usually about 35 or more. So I'll usually, if she's doing a good time, about $5. If
Okay.
she cuts me a discount on some stuff, I'll give her a little extra, like 10,
Okay.
15 or something.
Okay.
Um, but see, I've worked in food service before, and a little sandwich shop that is the title of a train, hint, hint, wink, wink, who decided to pay people at the bare minimum and put in tip jars, which was like ludicrous because you never tipped for making a sandwich before that for basically a COVID. I think they started around that time. So they were trying to pay us less, hoping that the customers would pick up for just paying us a decent wage. I understand it's a base job. I wasn't asking to get paid $20 an hour or anything, but it was a way for the company to kind of stiff us, rather than just pay us, have us happy. We make the sandwiches, we're happy to the guests, and the guests are happy because everybody else is happy. So I understand how some businesses run this as well, we're going to pay you the bare minimum and then we just hope you get tips and make up for it. And there's actually a fight going on right now with Gideon's Bakehouse. If you've ever been to Disney Springs, it's the cookie shop there. There's also one on the east side of Orlando. Great big, wonderful cookies, like that big for a cookie. So if you're in the Orlando area, try them out. They're really good. But they had their employees on a pay system of, I believe it was $8.75 an hour. And then you would make your tips. And so they said, well, we're thinking about getting rid of that system and moving you to a pay structure. And they said, well, could you pay us at least $16 an hour to make up for the loss in tips? So your real payment, your real wage was 15 to 16 an hour. It was just, instead of the company picking it up, the guests were picking it up. So
But don't you have to split the tip jar or something like that?
we did at so we did split the tip jar, which I don't think was fair because I was in there busting my butt, giving out great service alone most of the time at one of the stores, and other people would come in and they just do the bare minimum, not really smile, not really talk to the customers, and just give them the sandwich and not care and not clean up. And we had to split everything. Like, that's not fair. If somebody put a 20 because they liked the way I gave them great service, I had to only get 10 instead of getting the full 20. Like,
Right.
that's not fair.
I mean,
So,
I don't get into the. It's two things that I don't like.
mhm.
I'm not finna work in a restaurant. I'm just not finna do it.
It's an experience.
And I'm not finna work somewhere where I have to try to sell something to earn a paycheck. I'm not doing that either.
Mhm.
I knock on wood. I don't ever have to. I don't get down like that. I ain't got time for that foolishness. It's just too much.
I think you do a great job with it, though.
Everybody tell me that, but it's just like, okay, I know my mouth could be a mess sometimes,
Mhm.
especially when you really get my time wrong. So to, to deal with the different people and try to convince them, hey, you need to buy this or you need to do that. That's just not me. People tell me, I think you'll do great as a salesperson, whatever, because I love to talk to people. And maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I guess because I've seen people go through it trying to make a sale just to get a decent paycheck. I just think that's just not right, I guess. Now I may work I could work at, man, I could be a car salesman,
Mhm.
I could try that out part-time, or I could work at
Well,
a
see,
Gucci store or a Louis Vuitton store, but I couldn't work there because I won't get no check because I'd be too busy buying product.
you do get a
So,
base pay for car sales, and then you work off of commissions.
right, right,
So the more you sell, the more you make. But you're at least getting it. Well, it used to be 20 years ago, $350 a week. Some places a little bit more. I'm assuming
Right,
probably around close
right.
to 1,000 a week now. But
So 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 if
so
someone work at, I hate to say this, I really do, but I gotta say it. So somebody work at Kia
mm,
versus somebody work at BMW or Mercedes. That's a different.
yeah, you're gonna get paid much differently.
I'm talking about the base pay. I'm talking about the base pay.
Yeah, even the base pay, because
Okay,
you're selling much higher profit vehicles,
right.
so
Now,
you're
see, I would
able to
have to be the
pay
one that
more.
work at BMW or Mercedes.
Yeah,
I would have to work somewhere right there.
yeah. Now you may sell more cars at Kia, which means you make a bit more commission. So you kind of get paid probably about the same, but
So when you working at a place like that, they expect for you to
mm,
sell what, 2 cars a day or a
it
car a day?
depends your market. Like I did a little stint at a Nissan dealership, and they were expecting me to do about 3 or 4 cars a week
Okay.
to start. So, it something like Orlando, you could probably sell 7, 8, 9 cars a week, because you could probably do like 3 or 4 deals over the weekend,
You know
and
what I
then
want?
have a couple days off during the week, or take a Sunday off if the place is closed on Sundays or something.
You know what I want? I really want a
What's that?
truck. I really want a truck.
Okay, we'll find you a truck. We'll find you a truck.
But I'm scared, right?
Mhm,
And the reason being because I go get my grandbaby over the weekend. Well, every
mhm.
other weekend. So I'm thinking about the is it a gas guzzler, or it all depends on
You
what
can
kind
get
of
a
truck
4
I'm getting.
Yeah, you can get a 4-cylinder truck or 6-cylinder truck that's actually really good on gas.
Okay, what kind of truck?
I know you said, Tacoma. That would actually be pretty good. The Frontier is a nice, because you don't want something massive or anything, do you?
No, who made Frontier?
That's Nissan.
Oh, no, 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 no,
But
no,
their
no,
Frontiers are really good.
no,
The
no,
other
no, 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 no,
cars,
no, 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 no,
yeah,
no.
but the Frontier's been around for a long time.
I absolutely hate Nissan.
Okay, I'm just
You know that.
um, the Santa Fe has a truck-like vehicle. Not the Santa Fe, Hyundai. Hyundai, it's the Santa Cruz. Honda has the Ridgeline, which again is just a truck-like vehicle.
I like the Ridgeline though. I really
Okay.
do. I
So,
really do. Because they got a little thing that automatically go cover the bed of the truck. I live for that.
okay. So
And
that
plus
would be
my
something to look into.
yeah, let's look into that. Let's look at it
Mm,
because my grandbaby told me I need something bigger.
okay.
So
Now, would you tip the salesperson? Because I've heard of this. I've heard of this. People will actually go back later if they got a good deal and slip them an extra 100 or 200 to the salesperson. So that would be a tip on top of
I
commission.
I,
Would
I
you tip them?
never tipped a salesperson because I know that once they sell me this car, right? First of
Mm,
all, you have to pay attention to the sales individual because they're gonna throw in all these extras for you to buy because they make even more money,
right.
right?
Right.
So you have to pay attention to that. So why would I go back and tip them when they done already talked me into doing this and buying that and adding this and that and that? See, I know the game that they play, you
Mhm.
know. So I never ever heard of that. Never.
Okay. But I heard a story, so
Oh
I'm
wow.
I'm curious, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm,
getting back to it, I think tipping is an add-on for extra services. If they're
I just
really
think
good, if they're really
I
nice.
don't. I
Like,
really don't.
because
I
waiters
just
and
think for some
waitresses,
people.
you go into that market knowing you're basing your life off of tips.
Okay, I get
Bartenders are the
that.
same
I
way. If
get
you're
that.
not hustling every night, like a stripper almost, you know,
We don't
running
want to talk
back and
about them.
forth, you know,
But
getting
some people
getting
is built
everything
for
that
that.
people
Some
need.
people
So,
built for that, and some people not. And I tell people that everything ain't for everybody. Every job, everybody can't even
right.
handle. You know, where I work at, uh, I done seen a lot of people come and go, and they just can't handle it. And it's to me, it's just the easiest job in the world.
Mhm.
It's just paying
So,
attention to detail.
would you take tipping out? with so many places putting tipping in now, like you go to the cookie shop, they even ask at the end on that little clipboard that they have, would you like to add a tip to your sale? So would you take tipping out and just have everybody paid accordingly, or would you keep tipping going?
I would keep it going because I like just great people, right? Like when I
Mm,
go to Carlos Bakery
mm,
and when they see me walk in, they engaging in conversation and they smiling and laughing. So when they do that, that automatically makes me want to tip the individual.
mm,
I don't know if I'm assuming they share with whoever on that shift for that day, I guess. But I'm like you to a certain extent, I'm a tip regardless. But when it comes to certain places and people, it makes me want to tip even more because you're engaging, you're smiling, you're asking me how my day went. You getting me to, if I'm having a bad day, you getting me to where I'm not having a bad day anymore.
mhm.
You know, so but I mean, it's to each his own, whether you want to tip or not. But I do think if you going somewhere, you getting your hair cut, you getting a manicure, a pedicure, or whatever, you should tip. That's just
Mm,
me. When I get a pedicure, and I get a pedicure twice a month. So, and I tip like $8, $9, I think,
mhm.
because I don't get a regular pedicure. I'm very dramatic. I got to
Bougie.
have the hot rocks and the steam
Oh,
towels and all that. I do all that. So, yeah.
what are the hot rocks? Can you explain that to me?
Okay. So
I don't know
they
what
asked me,
that
do
is.
I want a regular pedicure or do I want an upgrade? So I say,
Mhm.
give me the upgrade or whatever. So the upgrade be like, it's not bad. Like a regular pedicure is $35.
But are
So
there rocks involved? What is that?
okay, when you get the extras, they have this box and it come
Mhm,
with the certain lotion and something. Like I get the green tea and they pull the
mhm,
package in and the suds come up and it tingles and all this stuff. So she put this special lotion that come in and they massage your feet and your legs and all that. Then they get towels from the steamer. They wrap your legs up in the towels, and then
mhm.
they get hot rocks, black rocks, and they get it and they rub them on the bottom of your feet. You know, it's just what they do.
Right.
You so I'm assuming you never got a pedicure first of
No,
all.
I've never gotten a pedicure before,
See, that's
no.
what's wrong with men right now.
Oh god, here we go.
It's okay. It's not
What's wrong with
feminine
men?
to get a
What?
pedicure. It's really not. It's called self-care. That's all it's called. It's keeping up your grooming and your hygienes and all that. Get a pedicure. It's okay. It's not that bad. It's not feminine at all. It's just self-care. They offer you um an alcoholic beverage of your choice,
Mhm,
and you just relax and you either on your phone, you're in the seat that's massaging you, and you just relaxing. There's
mhm.
nothing wrong with a male getting a pedicure. Cause honey, some male feet need to be pedicured. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what y'all think. Get a pedicure. It's not feminine to get a pedicure.
See,
Just try it once
wait,
in life, and you'll always get a pedicure.
so that's the thing with your feet. That's not
Right?
the hand thing, right?
No,
No.
that's manicure.
Okay.
Manicure with your fingers.
Mm,
Pedicure is your feet. So I just think men should get a pedicure. I really do.
no.
And if a woman is not getting a pedicure, it's something wrong with that woman. Because
What
I just think you should get a pedicure.
what's wrong if she didn't get a pedicure?
What's right about it?
I what what if her feet are just naturally beautiful?
Okay, the feet
You don't need
naturally
to ruin it.
beautiful. Okay, but there's nothing wrong with getting going there, getting your feet, the bottom of your feet scrubbed every now and then, unless you're doing it yourself. I know some people do
Okay.
it themselves or whatever. So I get it. But if you know you got some rough feet, you have to get a pedicure. You should get a pedicure. I'm gonna put it like that.
Okay. So she can go get a pedicure. I
And see,
don't I'm just
you just think about it. If she say, "Babe, at least try it one time for me," would you try it?
Probably not.
Because you
My
sit in it.
hands, my feet, they've been worked all day and they look like they're worked, and that's the way they should look.
Listen.
Like,
Nobody want to be rubbing their feet against your feet, and it's too much. It's
actually,
just
wait a minute. I knew a girl who did. I know a girl who did. She said she liked the rough feel because it was like you worked. So,
okay. And to each his own.
okay.
And to each his own. I
Damn.
give you that. I give her that or whatever. But
Yeah.
baby, I do not want to rub no be playing footsies and your foot's rough and your feet is rough. No,
So your
no.
man needs soft feet.
Right. I don't want
Your
nothing.
man
No,
needs soft
no, yeah, because you just get a pedicure. Just try at least once,
feet.
and you will see the difference in a pedicure when you get a pedicure. It's just self-care. That's it. Like to me, you should get facials every now and then. You know, go get a nice massage every now and then. It's just called self-care. That's it. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not gay or you're not feminine because you getting a pedicure. It's
Oh no,
not that
I've
serious.
gotten a massage before, but I've never done a pedicure or manicure or anything like
That's what
that.
I'm saying. That don't make you gay or feminine because you're getting a pedicure. Just sit in the seat and get a pedicure, child, and call it a day.
Oh, but my fingers don't need to look all
Now
dainty and
I ain't
stuff.
saying your
Like,
manicure because look at
and
my fingers. They not
well,
bad. I never had a manicure, but
okay,
get the pedicure because you on your feet all the time. Get them corsage, get the black rob, get them nice and feel good and look good and you feel better about yourself and all that good stuff. So
okay.
yeah,
As long as it comes with a happy ending, we'll all be fine.
right, right,
Yeah,
right.
there you
Okay,
go.
all
Okay,
right. Maybe
so
one day you'll try.
maybe one day we'll try. So you've been tipped, or you haven't been tipped, and you hate your job and you can't stand it, and you're ready to leave. Do you give a 2 week notice, or do you just say, take this job and shove it?
Okay,
What's your take on this?
this is my take on it. You know
Okay.
me. I think you should always give a job a 2 weeks notice because you never know when you may need that job again. I done had several people experience leaving the job, giving me a 2 weeks notice, and then they say, "Hey," they'll call me, "Hey, I want to come back." Well, you can't come back because you did not fulfill your 2 weeks notice. I My problem with jobs is okay,
Okay, so they gave it, but then didn't fulfill it, right?
correct,
Okay, so they didn't just walk off.
right. And
Okay.
but when you don't fulfill it, the company still will not hire you back on because you not fulfill your obligation.
So are they expecting one?
As far as
Because here's my oh, keep going with your so you say put in a 2 week notice and then make sure you do it.
right, because you
Right.
just never know when you may need that job again.
Okay.
That's my take on it,
Mm.
right? But if you know the job not treating you fair and you have a backup plan, hey, by all means, do what you got to do. But just make sure before you leave that job, you have another job.
Mm.
I just always experience when someone put a 2 weeks notice in, they always want to come back to the job.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
And I done had 4 people, hey, I want to come
Okay.
back. You didn't fulfill your 2 weeks notice.
Mm.
So of course corporate gonna say, well, no, you can't hire them because they haven't fulfilled they didn't fulfill the 2 weeks notice. They only lasted a week or 3, 4 days, and that was it. So that's still just like quitting because they didn't fulfill their obligation.
Well, here's what I would say. If it's a big company with a large, I would say over 50 employees, and you may know your boss's name, but you don't know your boss's boss or your boss's boss's boss or anybody higher up, and they don't really see you, and you could walk out of there. Like, no one's really gonna notice. They'll have your position put up on ZipRecruiter and Indeed before you even walk out. So like it's not gonna matter. They're not. I mean, your local friends group will be like, "Oh man, we miss them," but it's not really gonna matter. If it's a family-owned organization or a very small company, then I would say, yeah, put in some type of notice. I don't even know if you have to do 2 weeks anymore because a lot of times your position can be shared by somebody else. So you're not really training. I've been through a couple 2 week notices where I didn't even train anybody. And the second week was basically nothing to do. So it was like, well, why did I even really do this? You know, so and it was larger companies that were like, oh, okay, you're leaving. Okay, so and so, just do what he was doing and finish up anything that he had to do, and that was it. So it and another thing is those larger companies will easily come down and tell you the next day, hey, pack up your stuff and there's the door. And I've seen it happen to a
I,
mass. There was a mass firing at one company I was at where they basically handed us all cards in the morning and they said, everybody with a blue card, stay over here. Everybody with a pink card, go upstairs. Everybody with a purple card, go to the conference room. So the blue card, we ended up keeping our jobs. The pink card that went upstairs, they ended up getting fired that day. Get your stuff. There was a sheriff outside, so there were no problems. But I got their stuff, just walked out, and that was it. The purple card, we're told, within the next 6 to 8 weeks or so, your position was getting eliminated and you were going to be fired. So I've seen companies that just hit the bell and that was it. You're done. So, like, there's loyal. I used to always say, and I still kind of say it, loyalty died in the 80s with companies.
I
Nobody
agree.
works that
I agree.
40-year job and gets their retirement party and gets the gold watch and gets to go on the Carnival cruise. Like that just it rarely happens. Even with union jobs, that doesn't even happen as much. So, if you can get to something better, don't waste time. Just go with it. Uh, because
So,
a lot
okay,
of
answer this
times they can
question.
just move somebody else into your position.
Answer this question.
Yes.
Why a job feel the need that someone should give them a 2 weeks notice, but they not giving nobody a notice when they finna get fired? I don't understand that concept.
Okay, so the company would expect that you were in a specialty position where you needed to either finish some assignments or train the next person coming in. Nowadays, they have manuals for pretty much every position at a company, so they can easily train the next person coming in. So they now see it as they can move you in and out. And a lot of states have right to work,
Right.
which is when you sign the paperwork to join somewhere, they say you can leave at any time with or without a reasoning. And the company at the same time can fire you at any time or lay you off without a reason. And so it's basically a wild card whether you're going to be there or not be there. So, and if you know your boss and you know the owner of the company and everybody talks to each other all the time, then I would say give them at least a week notice and just say, hey, next week's gonna be my last week, and I hope you guys are gonna be okay because a lot of times they are. I've spoken to people from previous jobs, and I've never once heard that the company burned down because you left. I've never heard that. So
I mean, I
no
get what you're
company.
saying, but I still think you should have dignity about yourself and give a 2 weeks notice. Now, if the job that you're seeking or wanted to be on say, hey,
Mhm.
I need you in the week, then hey, you just got to give the week or whatever. But if they allow you to do a 2 weeks, then so be it may. Just do it because, like I said, you never know. But I do understand where you're coming from because jobs don't take their
I mean, if you're working at
Individuals,
Google or Amazon,
right?
like, are you gonna give them a notice? Because they're just gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, just go sit in the corner then. We need this workstation, so if you're not gonna be
I think
here, don't be here."
jobs don't treat individuals with loyalty anymore. I do agree with that because you could be on your job 15 plus years, child, they don't have a care in the world. They just
Mhm.
gonna replace you and keep it pushing. You know,
Right,
and it's sad because you done dedicated all these years to your job for them not to care. Now, I'm not saying all jobs. The job I'm on, I think they care. But that's just my personal
right,
opinion. But because I do love my job and I really believe my job loves me. But on a lot of jobs, it's not that way. You understand? And I do
right.
get it because some of the bonuses that they get and the treatment that they get, like I know a company, Walgreens last day tomorrow.
Right.
Walgreens distribution center, whatever. Child, they fed them subs.
Yeah.
Like really, that's the
That's what
best
I
I could.
mean. It's these big
Like,
conglomerate companies that just are like, "Okay, we don't need you anymore." So, why are you giving them any kind of respect? You should really, like, strive to work for somebody that you appreciate what they're selling and they appreciate you. Like, if
right,
you're into cruises, go work at a cruise company. If you love woodworking, go work at Home Depot. But don't sit at a job that you don't like because, oh, well, maybe I'll get there one day to the big payday. Like, it doesn't happen like that. Like, it takes years and years to get anywhere to be like, I climbed the corporate ladder. It's like a lot of people are just jumping, from this company into that position and then back up into that position, and that's how they're making more money. So it's a lot of, you're not going to always be able to be like, well, they need me in 3 days, so I can't give you a 2 week notice. So I want to go make more money and be appreciated more. So,
I get it. I really get it, but I think it all is up to the individuals and how they personally feel about whether or not they should give a 2 weeks notice. And I'm not saying that all jobs don't care. There are some that do care, and there's
mhm,
some that just don't care. But I just think if you be loyal to a job, that job really need to be loyal to you, whether they want to admit it or not, and show some appreciation
mhm.
about it. But I mean, who are we to say? So it is what it is. I'm just ready to retire, child. That's all. I'm just ready to retire. That's it. That's all.
Oh, well, I run a small business, and I will say this, I strive to try to make my employees happy, and hopefully they make the customers happy, and I think if you do that, you're always gonna have people that wanna, respect your company, and then they'll wanna have an appreciation and say, "Hey, I'm gonna be leaving. How much time do you need?"
Right.
Oh, okay. We just need like 5 days. Can you just finish this project you're working on and then you're good to go?
Right.
Like communication would
Right.
be
You
really
respect
good to open
each
up.
other. You
And
know. They both respect and one giving each other respect that
right.
each other deserve or whatever. So I do understand, but and I understand some jobs just don't even deserve a 2 weeks notice. Child,
Right.
some jobs don't even deserve a 2 hour notice. Just
Oh,
go and kick them to the caboose and keep it pushing.
right.
But
I mean,
that's
we
neither
want to see people move up, and if you can
always,
get a higher
always.
paying job, that's
Then go
great.
ahead. It's
Go for
understandable
it.
because we don't know your financial situation.
Right.
So we can't tell you, oh, you need to stay here. No. If you can better yourself, by all means, please go ahead and do that. Don't let us stop you from doing it because you love the atmosphere or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Always strive to do better. Always strive to make better decisions for yourself, because I don't know what your financial state is. You don't. So do what you got to do for you.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're making the right decision. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, the world's getting a lot scarier.
Of
Things
course,
are
of course.
quickly changing right now. So pack the coins in and be prepared, especially the Gen Z and millennial generation. Um, I've read that like that those generations may actually have less than what the previous generation had. So it'll be the first time ever, and that's scary. Like never being able to own a home, not even having a retirement account, not having security, not having stability. Like, so if you feel that you can get into something a little bit better, take the jump, take the leap, try it. If it doesn't work out, you can always, adjust and adapt to something else and just, try to make the best out of what you're doing and try to be the best at what you're doing.
That's right. Always, quote of the day, always put your best foot forward
There you go. That's a good quote.
and do what's necessarily for you and your family.
Yes.
So, with
All right.
that being said,
We're wrapping up.
we're wrapping up.
So I did drop a video on the Angriest Man in Orlando channel this week. So if you want to go take a look, it was a long one, but the topics are listed. So if you want to jump around to each topic, do jump around and have fun and comment if you agree, you disagree, you think it's totally bonkers. Comment. There's already some comments all over it anyway, but comment even more. It'll be fun to see what everybody says.
All right. With that being said, man, Anthony, we love you for free. We want to thank you for joining, subscribing, taking time out your busy schedule to listen to us. It's greatly appreciated. We love you for free and good night.
All right. Good night, everyone. We'll see you back here next Thursday at around 8 o'clock. And we hope everyone has a good week until then. Good
Yes.
night, everyone.
Good night.